Do you think my gooseberry should really be a deep red colour?
Oh my God! Right, I am sick of the double entendres. We're meant to be creating a good impression at the beginning of each episode.
What?
I got you a birthday present. You can have that happy birthday.
Oh, did you buy me a present?
Yeah,
genuinely. Oh, thank you.
You know, you
thank
don't
you.
deserve it.
Is it allotments or trains? What did you go for?
Oh, well, I don't want to spoil it, but
all right, thank you.
What? It's just a boring book about trains. I thought it'd shut you up.
The Galloping Sausage and Other Train Curiosities.
Oh, I didn't read it
You've
properly.
just added to the double entendre.
I just thought it looked so boring. I didn't even read it.
You didn't even read it. No, I mean, look, I'm really looking to getting deep into the Galloping Sausage and finding out as much as I can about the Galloping Sausage. I'd be interested to know its length in particular, and maybe its width and weight.
How am I ever going to get him to stop with these double entendres?
You just put your hand in his mouth and pull his teeth out.
Hello and welcome to episode 8 of Review to a Kill. My name's James and I'm a big James Bond fan.
And my name's Tom and I call myself a movie fan, yet I've not watched these Bond movies.
He's new to the whole
I mean,
Bond
I've watched
thing.
all the first 7 now.
Yeah.
That's the point.
That's the point of the show, really, isn't it? Yeah. Look, each episode we will be analysing a different film from the series from the perspective of a first-time viewer and someone who's seen them a million times before.
Yeah.
Now, as we say before every episode, there will be
Speedboats!
And
spoilers!
So there will be spoilers.
Yeah.
Please, if you have not seen the movie that we're going to be talking about tonight, please switch us off now.
And don't,
not completely. Come back and see us later on.
Don't complain if we ruin it.
We will spoil this movie for you if you haven't seen it. So please do pause us now and come back if you haven't seen tonight's movie. Now, before we look forward, it is our want to look back.
Yeah.
So at the previous episode where we discussed Diamonds Are Forever, we've had some feedback.
Yes.
Which brings us nicely to our regular feature, Feedback Corner.
Something like that.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Like a...
Ooh, sorry.
Like a young Freddie Mercury, honestly. Brilliant. Great.
Sorry, just get rid of that. Trying to get some of my feedback up. Yeah, from earlier.
Okay, well, I'll start with the feedback we had online.
Yeah.
Enlightenment789 says, love your humour. Bond should always be fun reviewing and not deadly serious. Mr. Enlightenment or Ms. Enlightenment, Mrs. Enlightenment, you are absolutely right. That's what I always say, isn't it? None of this stuff is meant to be taken seriously. It's supposed to be enjoyed. It's supposed to be fun. So thank you very much.
Absolutely.
That's definitely what we think over here at Review to a Kill HQ. Robert Crook 8081 says Diamonds Are Forever was the first James Bond film I saw at the cinema when it first came out.
Yeah.
That would have been good. It's always had a place in my heart watching it as a 9-year-old. It's funny, fun, brash, exciting stunts. I had the Corgi Moon buggy as a kid and brought it again as an adult.
Good.
Correct. Well done.
Correct behaviour.
Correct behaviour. You should add film poster to your scoring. It's a cool poster. That's a really good point.
I was going to say that to you. I mean, sadly it's too late, but we should have thought of that.
Yeah.
And
we will mention each poster
Posters
from now
are
on.
good.
The poster for tonight's film, by the way, is very, very good as
And
well.
we've
Which
even
we
got
will.
it.
Yeah, look.
Well, we
see,
might as well
see.
say
We may
it.
as well. Yeah.
Got it back from episode 1.
Yes, and very splendid it looks too up on your wall. Great bait.
Yeah.
I'm wearing the t-shirt as well. Look.
Oh yeah.
Fillet of Soul Restaurant.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's do Diamonds Are Forever before we live in that. Clive Mason says, enjoyed your thoughts on Diamonds Are Forever. I saw it at the cinema when I was 10. I went with my cousin and we got in for free as the manager lived next door to my cousin. Result. We enjoyed it so much that we stayed and watched it a second time. So you could do that in the old days.
Yeah, it sounds like a bloody good way to spend an afternoon or an evening,
It was so good, I'll just stay in the cinema and watch it again.
Yeah.
A couple of moments you didn't mention.
Yes.
Now, these are good observations.
Yes.
The elephant playing the slot machine. How did we miss that?
I forgot all about it.
I'm so sorry that we missed that.
The other thing he said.
Go on.
You say.
The girl turning into a gorilla.
I think I just erased it from my mind due to the craziness of it.
It's problematic in a number of ways.
Yeah, but there's all the crowd of kids that are meant to be all scared by it, and there's one kid that just can't stop
clearly
laughing.
Loving it.
And he's grinning
and also,
his
another
face
great
off.
cameo for the mad professor, who's clearly an American doing a heavy German accent.
Yes.
If anything should happen, get out of here. Anyway, yes,
so
thank you
right.
for that. Thank you for that.
Even though it was like our longest episode, we missed some key points.
We did. He also says that he agrees the cremation scene was quite scary for kids. Yeah. Tiffany would have been a better character if she had kept her sass.
Yeah.
Which I think we can all agree with. And Winton Kid are great, with Mr. Kid particularly unsettling. So thank you very much, Clive, for your comments. Always good to get those. Your friend who I met at the quiz has contacted us. Phil, yeah. Hi, Phil. So he's... we had this idea of maybe doing a Flash Gordon episode. This is in the works. Don't worry. He says that we should give all 25 episodes over to Flash Gordon and do 4 minutes and 33 seconds per episode, focusing on 14 frames at a time. I'm going to politely pass on that on behalf of humanity. But there may be one episode. We'll let you know. Yeah. We'll let you know. Thank you very much.
Bloody
for
good
that.
idea, though, Phil.
Well,
and, I
I'm
tried.
sorry, it's not cutting the mustard as far as I'm concerned. Yeah. My friend Tracy's been in touch again, saying thank you very much for the shout out. Her mum's face was a picture. Hello, Mrs. Wallace. Hi, Betty. Hi, Betty, if we may be so forward. Hello. Yeah. And she says, Tom, you are a creative genius. Which you are. Accept it. Just come. Who else is going to come up with this masterpiece? Look at it. Look at the attention to detail. It's extraordinary. It's exquisite. Anyway, thank you very much for that, Tracy. Extremely kind. And we have, I'm pleased to say, heard from the ONP.
Oh, yeah?
Our official nice person. Our official nice person has been in touch again.
Yeah.
Queenie Colombo says, I don't actually remember Diamonds Are Forever.
Official nice person.
Official nice person.
Just missed me cue
coming up on the screen now. Yeah, good. I don't actually remember Diamonds Are Forever. I wonder if it's because I adore the theme song so much.
Yeah.
Cool J. That's
I didn't like this.
It's me she's referring to now. I'm the cool one.
Yeah.
That just is right. It's a classic, but also happens to be my favourite Bond song. It is a great theme tune, Diamonds Are Forever. I love everything about it. The composition, the strings, wonderfully delivered, and so on and so on. After watching the film last night, I realised I may not have remembered it because the film is just not very good.
Well, so we have different...
Well, we did score it fairly low, didn't we?
Yeah, we've scored it fairly low, but we've obviously got these fans who I'm not, I've been, like I say, watching that twice in the cinema when you're 10 years old
would be brilliant.
I would have loved doing that, but...
And it's a matter of taste as well. It depends what you like. I quite like the silliness and over-the-topness of it, but that won't be to everyone's taste, so, I get that. So,
and we're not always going to agree, are we?
We're not, and that's the point. We can disagree.
People of Twitter and social media.
The world needs more harmony. It's okay. Yeah, it's okay to be different, man. It's okay, She's also pointed out that we didn't talk about the, quote, gorgeous Triumph Stag that Bond drove in Dover.
My friend John from work also mentioned that.
It is a beautiful car. Hi, John. And in a great 70s colour. That kind of, not quite beige, not quite taupe, not quite fawn. That sort of 70s in-betweeny light brown colour. So there we are. She also goes on to say that she thinks I'm extremely cool. But I'm just
official nice person.
Yes, thank you very much. Thank you very much, Queenie Colombo. She is the ONP. Yeah, you know me. Yes, very good. So and that was...
Oh, no, hang on. I got a bit.
Oh, sorry. I'm sorry.
Because I mentioned my friend John from work.
Yes.
He always gets in touch and he's enjoying the show. And he had a bit of hovercraft information because we said, do they do those anymore? And he said...
I would love to go on one of those hovercrafts.
Cross-channel services started in the late 60s and finished in 2000. There is still a hovercraft service between the Isle of Wight and the mainland.
Is there?
Thank you, John. I knew James would like that.
That's fascinating enough to go in here, That's brilliant. So you can still go on a hovercraft?
according to John, I'm not going to doubt John. Who am I to doubt John?
I'm going to the Isle of Wight, and I'm going to do that.
And go.
Can we do a special episode, genuinely, where I take a day off work, get the train? I'm serious. I will get the train to Southampton and go on the hovercraft to the Isle of Wight. Right. And if I send you the rough stuff, you can edit it, and we'll have a special episode. Yeah. Are you up for that?
I mean, can you imagine the figures we go through the roof?
Oh, honestly, this is never mind James Bond. This is what it's. This is the gold. This stuff.
John also mentioned back on Her Majesty's Secret Service.
Okay, so we're going 2 back.
Just to say, we were saying that Bond's assistant who helps him with the massive safecracker.
Yes.
He looked like, what did we say? Chris Martin. You said David Gower.
Former England left-hander David Gower. Yes.
A little bit like. Oh, I said someone else.
The curly blonde hair was quite sort of cherubic.
But John reckons Billy Bleach from the Fast Show as well, which is a damn good show. Yeah.
That is a good show.
So well done for that.
Thank you very much. That's the kind of high quality feedback we want, John. Thank you.
I just can't think who I said. And our last bit of feedback there is from it. Well, it's just a follow up from a guy, Matthias Schultz 3569.
Oh yes,
we've already read out his comment, and the penny's only just dropped because he said the same old James, only more so. Said by Moneypenny would have been a much
better
line
for Roger.
line for Roger.
Yeah.
And I'm just looking at all these like I don't get that because I haven't watched the film. But obviously it's Roger Moore.
Roger Moore.
Apologies for just reading out your comment and not even getting it.
So thank you. And can I just say Matthias has done that in a second language as well.
And we've just been stupid.
We?
Yeah, sorry. You didn't tell me I was being stupid.
Sorry, I wouldn't do that, mate. I have too much respect for you, and we need your editing and musical ability anyway. So, anyway, that was this episode's Feedback Corner.
I've lost
it. Tom's very good. He's a trained musician, you know. Tom's driven music on SoundCloud. He's good, this man. Very, very good. Right, shall we move on to this episode?
Yeah.
This episode's movie is Live and Let Die. Dun, 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 dun. We have, as you can see, decorated especially, and because look, that's how cool we are. Look, we've got a Fillet of Soul t-shirt and a Live and Let Die poster.
Yeah. As
Queenie says, we're cool. I mean, it's just it goes without saying. So, Live and Let Die, which we've still made room for Tom's French chart. You'll be delighted to hear. And according to Tom's French chart, le chart du Bond, Live and Let Die is. Oh God, this is quite a tricky one this time. Hold on. I'm fluent, you know.
Yeah.
Vivre et laisser mourir. Vivre et laisser mourir. There we are.
Fantastic.
It does, doesn't it? So is that literally live and let die? I suppose it is. Very good.
Yeah.
Damn clever.
Oui.
The way language works. Yeah. Très bien. Right. I'm going to give you some basic information about the film. I'm going to very quickly rattle through some basic information as we always do. And then we will move to our review, our separate reviews of this movie. And we will complete the BondBoard.
Oh, yeah.
As now firmly established tradition. So here we go. Here's some information on Live and Let Die. This was the 8th movie, hence the 8th episode this evening, based on the second novel. Here it is,
we got it,
which is one of the stronger novels in the collection. And it was, of course, you're right there. You're just falling off the edge of the desk. Now, the professional thing to do there would have been just to carry on. But sorry, I won't draw attention to your alcoholism. It's fine, I'll just carry on. This was, of course, Roger Moore's first appearance as James Bond. Broccoli and Saltzman tried to convince Sean Connery to return as Bond, but he declined. So they had to consider a number of other actors for the role. Steve McQueen was considered, Paul Newman, and Burt Reynolds was apparently quite seriously considered for a time.
Him for Diamonds Are Forever as well, didn't you?
I believe this is the pre-moustache Burt Reynolds, so you can sort of see that working. Among the other actors who actually tested for the role were Julian Glover, who lives just down the road from us in Bristol. He does, yeah. And he actually makes a later appearance in a subsequent Bond film, so I'll leave that for you to chew on. John Gavin, who we talked about last time from Psycho and everything else, who
got paid for doing it.
Got paid for doing it, came very close last time. Jeremy Brett, Simon Oates, Anthony Hopkins was apparently considered, as was William Gaunt, who was in The Champions at the time, but 10 years after this started making the sitcom There's No Place Like Home, in which we was the sort of grumpy old dad in a sort of cardigan who looked about 103 then. Anyway, perhaps he was just old before his time, but he apparently was considered for a while as well. The main frontrunner for the role for a time was Michael Billington, who had the very unfortunate record of being screen tested for Bond more than anyone else and didn't get the role. He never got to do it.
So he's a well-known name among the fan community.
He is.
Because I have to look for the pictures of everyone for the edit.
A lot of hard work goes into the editing.
I just thought, I hope everyone knows who this is. I found a picture of him.
Michael Billington had quite a good career in the 70s, but like I say, he did audition several times and never got it, unfortunately. Although he does have a small part in a later Bond film. So again, something for you to look forward to. The anticipation must be absolutely extraordinary. I can tell. You're just, after Roger Moore was chosen, Billington actually remained on the top of the list in the event that Moore declined to come back for a subsequent movie. So they kept him on almost as the sort of supply teacher for the James Bond role. If Roger doesn't come back, he's going to, go and get the guitar. It's going to be like, go and get Michael Billington. Go on. So anyway, he came very close, but he never got to do it. So Roger Moore, of course, was finally cast. Roger Moore's acting career had actually gone right the way back to 1945. In the early 50s, he had worked as a model. He appeared in print advertisements in the UK for knitwear. You can find all these photos up online. He actually had the nickname for a while, The Big Knit. Sorry, that's
and then he got into the knitwear business.
Normally at this stage, if it was a Connery film, we would do Wig Watch. But of course, Roger doesn't wear a wig.
Yeah.
However, Thomas had a brilliant idea.
Well, I realised he wears some bloody lovely threads.
Beautiful.
It's time for...
Thread Watch.
Threads Watch.
Nice.
It's quite unwieldy to do that on a vocoder.
It's not an easy thing to say, is it?
Threads Watch.
Threads Watch.
Yeah, but... I reckon I got there. The audience be the judge.
Your musical genius is unsurpassed. I'm very impressed. So let's pick out. I mean, for me, the highlight of the suits that Roger wears in this film. Go on, you tell me what yours is.
Powder blue, double denim with the vest.
And isn't it beautiful? And particularly with the shirt open, so we can see all of the vest. And it's pristine white vest.
He's saying, I'm going on a boat and no one's going to stop me.
I'm going on a boat in my blue safari suit and no one's going to stop me. Yeah, no, it is a beautiful thing. I think Thread Watch is won by the beautiful thing.
I mean, I'd say a special mention to stripper trousers.
Yes, very nice. Yep.
Always handy.
Stripper pants
powder blue, double denim with vest. And actually, just a lot of the other outfits in this movie are really cool 70s.
I did like
Solitaire's got some amazing outfits.
I did like Roger's dressing gown as well. The silk dressing gown with JB stenciled on. That's such a bit of class.
Yeah.
Very nice. Very nice. That was this episode's Threads Watch. Threads Watch. I can see that.
Yeah,
that really taking off. I think that's a feature that's got legs. That's going to run and run and run. So, right, let's get on with some information on the film. Yeah. Jane Seymour was cast as Solitaire. Diana Ross was apparently considered for the role of Solitaire. Jane Seymour was only 21 when she was cast. Roger was 45, let's not forget. So there was a slight age discrepancy there. Yaphet Kotto as Kananga. He was previously in the original Thomas Crown Affair with Steve McQueen, amongst many other films he had made.
And went on to be in two of the best movies ever made. Alien.
Yes.
And The Running Man.
Yeah, oh yes, I forgot he was in The Running Man. Yes. A little bit larger in the Running Man, shall we say?
In that spandex,
But no, very good.
Still bloody good.
Yeah. Julius Harris as Teehee, the guy with the metal arm, great character. Jeffrey Holder as Baron Samedi. Jeffrey Holder was actually a dancer and choreographer.
Yeah.
And you can sort of see that in the way he moves, even the way he walks and moves around. He's a good piece of casting, I think, that. And Clifton James as the comic turn of Sheriff J.W. Pepper.
Yep.
Now, I should say, I know he's sort of remembered as a bit of a slapstick character, but we should point out, Clifton James was a genuine Second World War hero. He served for 3.5 years in the South Pacific and won 2 Purple Hearts.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, isn't that amazing?
Well, I already had a lot of admiration for him because I think, the character is ridiculous, but he just understands his assignment so well.
Yeah. Chew the scenery, Clifton. Yeah.
Should we talk about him a bit more later?
We will. Yeah. This was also, of course, the return of Bond regulars, Bernard Lee as M, Lois Maxwell as Moneypenny, out of the office again and rescuing James Bond, helping him out in a particular issue. Lois Maxwell and Roger Moore were old friends, actually. They worked together many, many times before. But...
where's Desmond Llewellyn?
No Q.
No.
Inexcusably, the producers wanted to make the film less gadget heavy, and so Q was dropped for this movie.
Right.
Terrible decision.
Yeah.
Black mark against the movie there.
That surprises me, and also because I've written down loads of gadgets.
Yeah,
despite his absence,
exactly.
There's still
They didn't actually cut down on the gadgets anyway. So
So I'm annoyed by that.
Yeah, well, so
that's
you should.
Annoyed me.
Yeah, you've every right to be.
Say I forgot on the feedback corner that I was going to mention that my brother Chris. Hello, Chris.
Hi, Chris.
He mentioned that last time you said that Moneypenny was first seen out of the office at Diamonds Are Forever. But
she had been at the wedding. On Her Majesty's Secret Service. First seen out of the office in a professional capacity. Can we allow that?
I'd have to open it back up to my brother.
Very pedantic, Chris, but absolutely correct, and I accept my mistake. So well done. A couple of other little things on the cast. The little guy who does the stabbing while the jazz funeral's taking place in New Orleans, he was Alvin Alcorn, who really was a jazz trumpeter.
Oh, I thought he really was. A stabber.
No, he wasn't. He genuinely was a jazz trumpeter who played with several well-known band leaders. And I don't know if you noticed, the sheriff in Live and Let Die, who ends up in the bayou, is in Vegas in Diamonds Are Forever. Yeah. Well spotted, my friend.
I did.
Same actor, Roy Hollis was his name.
Yeah.
Whether it's the same character moved to a different place or he's playing 2 different characters doesn't seem very clear. I don't think anyone has a definitive answer on that. The
actual answer is no, of course it's not. The more fun answer is
yes, totally it is. Yeah, why not? Let's go with that. Guy Hamilton returned to direct. He had previously directed Goldfinger and Diamonds Are Forever. This was the 3rd of the 4 films that he would correct. In fact, he did 3 in a row, as he did the next movie as well. The script was written by Tom Mankiewicz, who had a co-credit on the last movie because he helped out adding a lot of the humour, that kind of thing. This time he has a sole credit. The script is just his, and again, that's where a lot of the humour and where Sheriff J.W. Pepper comes from and so on as well. This movie was made in 1973. The historical context for this is quite important. We're in the blaxploitation era of movie making. This obviously emerged during the United States in the early 70s when you have the Civil Rights Movement, you have the Black Power Movement, you have the Black Panthers, and all of this has sort of spurred black artists to make movies reflecting this new era. So Shaft and Superfly and these kind of movies. Yaphet Kotto, Gloria Henry and Julius Harris had all been in blaxploitation movies. They've been in Across 110th Street and Black Caesar and movies like that as well. So the movie sort of borrows quite heavily from that. It is, of course, based on, as I mentioned, the second James Bond novel, originally published in 1954. There are more elements of the novel in this movie compared to Diamonds Are Forever, where they pretty much threw everything out. A lot of the same character names and some of the same settings. Elements of this novel were also subsequently used in 2 further movies later on in the canon. So there's a scene, I won't tell you what, but there's a scene in For Your Eyes Only and a scene in License to Kill which borrow very, very heavily, really are directly taken from things that happen in the novel of Live and Let Die. So this was quite a productive hunting ground for them in terms of this. Right, the production. We always talk about problems in production. Yeah, and there were a few, which I know will surprise you. They had... It's amazing these movies ever got made, isn't it? No, you know, it's extraordinary.
Getting to be my favourite bit.
I know. Here's all the
Find
problems.
out who nearly died.
So there was a spot of trouble with snakes in this movie, as you might expect. Various actors, including Jane Seymour and Geoffrey Holder, were terrified of the snakes.
Yeah.
Geoffrey Holder had to jump into the sort of coffin full of snakes and was absolutely terrified of them, and only did it because Princess Alexandra was visiting the set that day, and so thought, well, I sort of have to with her watching. Jane Seymour almost got bitten by one of the snakes as it's held up to her, and the guy at the start who has to faint as he's tied up genuinely did faint because he was so terrified of having this snake held up to his face. The snake also bit the dancer, the extra, the dancer, who actually holds him up as well. So yeah, loads of problems with snakes in this movie. Problems also with boats. Again, not really surprising. Roger Moore, on his first day filming as James Bond, before he's even said a line as James Bond, was driving along in the boat. The boat suddenly came to a stop because of a problem with the engine. He was pitched forward, smashed his face on the steering wheel and chipped a tooth. Right, so that's great. Also, the scene when they drive the boats through the wedding, surprise, surprise, that went wrong. They crashed 2 boats and 2 stuntmen were injured before they finally came back the next day and got on the third scene.
That was a real wedding that they had no idea that was going on.
Just
that was
turned up.
Really ruined. No,
the best man arranged it for a laugh. So luckily no one was killed, but a couple of guys were hurt quite badly. So and then after the end of all that, Roger Moore got kidney stones and couldn't film for a while, so he had to take a couple of weeks off, and they had to sort of rejig the schedule and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, a tricky production, I think it's fair to say, as these usually are. There are some controversies around this film again, and there are a few things that wouldn't be included now. Unfortunately, we have violence against women again, with Kananga striking Solitaire really quite forcefully, striking her to the ground, of course. Bond's treatment of Solitaire with the cards, which I know is intended to be funny because you sort of think, well, it's Bond shit a bit and whatever else. But obviously, in this day and age, you probably would not.
Yeah,
I mean that's not great, especially given that she's so inexperienced and so on.
Yeah.
J.W. Pepper has come in for some criticism because
I think he's really good.
Not so much in this movie, but in the next time he appears,
his slurs and things.
He's a little more.
But I think he's written. Well, I saw him as written as you're laughing at his viewpoint. He's a buffoon. Everything that happens to him is like he's just everything goes wrong, and he's exasperated all the time, and he doesn't make anything better.
And in the behind the scenes stuff, they did actually say they did meet sheriffs down in Louisiana who were like that. Yeah. So you know, but anyway, it's not always a comfortable thing to watch. The other thing is that obviously we talked about it being released during the blaxploitation era, but there are some things I think we would consider stereotypes and cliches today. There are an awful lot of black drug dealers, gangsters, pimps, and all that kind of thing as well, which has come in for some criticism as well. The reception has been pretty good for this movie. It was pretty good at the time. It's generally been pretty good since. I think it was seen as a good start for Roger Moore. Usually has, in my experience of Bond Twitter, hi everybody, and their rankings and all that kind of stuff, usually comes sort of fairly solidly mid-table, I think, in people's rankings. And most importantly, it was a huge box office success. The budget for this movie was $7 million. The box office, $161 million. Ka-ching. 45 million up from Diamonds Are Forever, which was itself up massively from On Her Majesty's Secret Service. Yeah. So the films are just doing this at this point.
Sort of see why they stuck with Rog for a little while then.
Rog, the money was rolling in. Right, shall we take a little break?
Yeah.
And we
check everything's recording.
Check everything's recording, just in case, because there'll be a lot to do again. And we will then move to the arbiter of Bond, the BondBoard. Tom, will you please activate the BondBoard?
Oh, BondBoard, light up like a blitz. Stop us from looking like a pair of pricks. Amen. Oh, it's okay, James. It's okay.
I'm just hiding behind the galloping sausage.
Wouldn't be the first time.
Yeah, well, yes. Yeah. All right. Yeah. So you said you weren't going to mention that.
They run like that anymore. Right.
They don't write tunes like that anymore. This is the BondBoard, and this is the arbiter of all things Bond. At the top of the BondBoard, we have 12 elements which we think are essential for Bond brilliance. And down here on the left, we have all of the movies. And over the course of this unnecessarily long and drawn out, ridiculous length podcast YouTube show, we will come to a decision using this very scientific scoring system as to which Bond film should sit where in the 25 rankings. So we have done 7 to this point.
Yeah.
Would you like a quick
rundown?
Go on, do a quick rundown. Do a quick rundown. Go ahead.
In 7th place, Dr. No, 143. And in 6th place, Diamonds Are Forever with 157.
I forgot the first douche, sorry. That's the first douche, and then now a second douche. There we are.
You Only Live Twice, 165. On Her Majesty's Secret Service in 4th place with 170. From Russia with Love, 184. Thunderbolts in 2nd place with 186. And that's Goldfinger at the top with 191. I'm turning into a Cockney.
We're going to have to take a decision as to how long that needs to be. Maybe we just do the top 3, because when we get to like the 19th episode, we can't go back all over.
I've got to keep squeezing the typeface until it's...
Anyway, we'll figure that out. Sorry, the on-air production meeting was not really necessary. Still, a fascinating glimpse behind the wizard's curtain. So there we are. Goldfinger leads the way at the moment with 191, and that is the target to beat. The first of the 12 elements of brilliance in Bond, we believe, is the pre-title sequence.
Correct.
How have you scored the pre-title sequence? Tabulous, babe.
Well, I thought, do we just go through the scores? I was going to say what happens a bit.
Yeah, go on.
Oh, yeah. Right. Sonic Pulse Brain Knackerer.
Yes.
Oh, sorry, that's just saying a gadget. So it opens in...
Sonic Pulse Brain Knackerer. What a band they were.
It opens in New York, United Nations HQ, and there's a guy, is he UK, and he's got the
UK
earpiece in, and it gets seriously...
Sonic Pulse Brain Knackerer.
From the translator to... Cut to New Orleans funeral.
Yes.
And what the hell was going on there? A bit of an over-elaborate way to kill an agent.
Exactly.
A lot of prep work to go into that one.
Yeah, a lot of jazz funeral stuff too.
Yeah, a lot of people in on it to pay off. But
can you round up 200 people to help me kill this guy, please?
Not a problem. But it looks good and
does.
works well in an opening scene, second scene to a movie. And then we cut to San Monique for, a really quite horribly dangerous.
Hi, you're an extra of this movie. You're not getting paid much. So we're going to tie you to this stake and shove a snake in your face. I hope that's okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
So it's just those 3, isn't it? Those 3 murders.
3 little mini sequences.
They're all pretty cool little mini scenes.
Yeah.
No James Bond at the start.
Well, I've marked it down slightly because Bond is not in it at all.
Okay.
But I do like them as little mini sequences. I have made a couple of notes here. On the gun barrel, there's new music. There's a new version of the Bond theme. Yeah. Very 70s, very sort of, of its time. The first shot you see is the UN building on the East River in New York. And then it zooms in toward the...
Yeah.
But it's really wonky. As it moves in, it sort of goes like that. Oh. Was it a bit blowy that day? Anyway. And we also, something that I love to see, the stabbing of the CIA man in New Orleans. Even though he's been stabbed with a large knife from a range of 3 inches, completely bloodless killing.
Yes.
No blood on the knife, no blood on the dead man, no blood on the floor, no blood. Which I kind of like it in a silly sort of way. I know there are a few of these in Bond. So, all in all, what have you scored the opening sequence?
7.
Have you?
Yeah.
You've been a bit more generous than me. I've only gone 6.
Right.
That's the second opening sequence in a row that I've scored a 6.
Oh, that's the same scores as last time, 6 and 7. Yeah.
Yeah. So there we are. There'll be more of this fascinating insight to come as we go through the other 11 elements.
Let's not do that. Just notice.
Notice.
Right,
yeah, they're there.
Yeah.
Right, theme song. This, I think, is an absolutely top tier, legendary theme tune, isn't it? Am I missing something here? You're the musician. So, what are you playing now? Very good. Da 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 da.
Shit. That's the one, isn't it?
This should be the trailer. If you do a trailer for this episode, it's just me doing this as you play that on the other.
And then the strings take over.
Oh, yeah. Nice. It's gone a bit Russ Conway at that point, hasn't it? How much is that doggy in the window? Well, that's great. Honestly, it's like a young Paul McCartney was in the room, wasn't it? You know, it's
really.
Fabulous. Thank you for that. Did you learn that especially for this? I'm very impressed. Yeah. Very impressed. Some of it even sounded like the theme.
Some of it stayed in my brain.
Very good. Very good. So this tune was written and recorded and paid for by legendary musician Paul McCartney.
Great.
And he did all this himself, did it in his home studio, wrote it himself, produced it himself, whatever else, and submitted it to the producers, hoping to get the gig, almost sort of auditioning for the gig, even though he'd been in the biggest band in the world 3 years before, They accepted it. Harry Saltzman wanted to get someone else to sing it, and George Martin sort of politely said to him,
Paul McCartney.
"No, you've got Paul McCartney. You've sort of done all right here,
So Fish, a nice person.
Oh,
she told me that Linda wrote that bit.
Nice.
That section.
Oh, right, I didn't know that. Okay.
Suggested that it needed a change, and
who am I?
That's credit to Lynn, because she is on the.
She is the co-writer. Yeah.
It says it's like
Bottom line.
Lynn,
Born Linda McCartney and performed by Paul McCartney and Wings. No, I didn't know that. And who am I to doubt the OMP? I'm not going to doubt the official nice person. So this song was nominated for an Oscar, but it lost to The Way We Were by Barbra Streisand. Anyway, great theme tune, absolutely top tier, legendary theme tune. I'm scoring it a 9.
Scoring it a 9?
Big 9, mate. Big 9.
Yeah.
Where are you going with this?
We haven't done this before. This category.
No, you're not going there.
10.
It's
from
a 10.
Tom.
Wow. It's the first 10.
Love
the
this.
first 10
absolutely
ever in any.
No, we got some girls who got 10 because we did.
10
for the Urslanders in the beginning, and then I scored
because she's
10
the ultimate bongo
for Tatiana.
Yes.
So
first musical 10.
Yes.
Wow. I was going to score one of the later Bond films a 10. I've had it in my mind when we get to that episode. I'm going 10 for that.
Yeah. I may score another one because I know the songs.
Okay.
But
well, we look forward to that with bated breath.
Didn't take two. I thought, what is there about this that I don't like that I've got to mark down for? Nothing.
So this wasn't a decision that you took lightly.
No, I did think long and hard. Obviously with my demonstration of the sound there, hopefully we haven't got cut out because
no, it did it justice. Brilliant.
But Yeah, of course it did. But
it was like watching a young McCartney in action.
Like,
it really was.
In the same vein, but different sounding, like to Bohemian Rhapsody or something like that, where it's got all these different sections.
Yeah.
A lot more condensed. It's 2.5 minutes or 3 minutes or something. This song.
Yeah.
Got to be for the opening titles of a movie. It can't be. But it fits all these, the little ballad at the start into the great action stuff and George Martin strings.
And also, it's you can hear the strings, you can hear the brass section. It's got all the things that it should have as in a Bond theme, but it's slightly different to a lot of the others. The tempo's faster. It's more of a rock song. It's more. I agree with you.
I'd say it works, as a fantastic theme to a song. But I would listen to this. Like Guns N' Roses covered it, didn't they? It's just like, it's a popular song just in its own right.
Yeah, absolutely.
Even though it is, everyone knows it's the Bond one, where I didn't know that We Have All the Time in the World was anything to do with James Bond.
Oh, didn't you?
No, I just thought that's a brilliant
you
song.
You kept that quiet.
No, I think I mentioned that.
Oh, did you? Well, look, I'm delighted we have a 10 for the music, and it's a brilliant song. And actually, that brings us nicely onto the score, because one of the things I noticed from the score was that George Martin, no less, the Beatles producer, John Barry was unavailable. I mean, it's not a bad substitute to get, is it? The Beatles producer.
Oh, is that why they got Martin?
Yeah. John Barry was doing another film,
right.
so they got George
that
Martin.
Worked out okay, didn't it?
And I noticed that in his score, he uses the theme tune quite a lot. He uses it.
There's
different
so much
callbacks
to it
all the way through.
You've got those 3 sections.
Yeah.
That you've got like a load of stuff that you can do with each section then change the tempo, change the arrangements.
Different style of music depending on where you are in the world.
The score mainly is... I'm being actually serious about this.
Yeah.
I'm not doing...
No, I'm impressed. I like new serious Tom.
It is musically mainly just lifted from the song.
Yeah.
But fantastically. I mean, arrangement-wise, and it reminiscent for me, like, really all I know about George Martin is Beatles.
Yeah.
But it does some of the strings where they go a bit unwieldy, and it sounds like they're out of control a bit, like they do in Day in the Life or something like that. Yeah.
Well, he was a classical producer first.
Yes,
so
I know
before
that,
he joined
but I just didn't listen to it.
Indeed, why would you? Well, there we are. I mean, he deliberately did the score not in the John Barry style, which he thought would help sort of distinguish more from Connery as well, because he sort of felt if we tried to repeat Goldfinger, say, you're sort of calling back to the horn section and all that kind of stuff. So it does have a different feel. And also in a movie which is very much of its time, the blaxploitation era and all that stuff, you wouldn't have that kind of score anyway, would you? You probably wouldn't have a sort of
it's kind
John
of
Barry type
let's
score.
Say a little bit of Lalo Schifrin, if I pronounce, Enter the Dragon and so the Dirty Harry movies and stuff like that. It's that kind of
No, I like it very much. So what are you scoring the score?
I've got 8 for the score.
Have you? I've gone 7 for the score because I do like it very much, but I could use a tiny bit more variation.
Yeah, it did fantastically.
Yeah, great score. Yeah. So like the score very much. So musically, this is an extremely strong movie.
My keyboard just hiccuped.
That was the B-side that McCartney rejected.
Yes.
Great, B-side, great.
Right.
Right, stunts. The crocodile stunt is probably the most famous stunt in this movie, I would say.
Yes.
When he's running across the back of the crocodiles. Would you like some fascinating background on this? So the
kind
man,
of.
A
little bit apprehensive.
Yeah, 20 people were killed. The man who did it was a guy called Ross Kananga.
Oh, right.
And they were so impressed with what he did, they named the villain after him as a sort of thank you.
I thought you said they'd already written it.
No.
He had no experience with crocodiles, but because of the coincidence, they thought they'd give him a go.
He's got the same name. We'll chuck him in.
He died after the 20 minutes of filming.
He was a crocodile farm owner in Falmouth, Jamaica. All right, the Jamaica was used to substitute for San Monique.
Yes.
So they were driving around in Falmouth, Jamaica, and the sign that says "Trespassers will be eaten" was genuine.
Yeah.
That was genuinely there on the front of the farm. Now here's the best bit: you can find the takes online because he didn't do it once. He didn't even do it twice.
I think I've seen a little video montage.
He did it 6 times. There were 5 unsuccessful runs. And one of them, the crocodile, actually grabs hold of his ankle.
God almighty.
Luckily, he gets more of his trouser than the leg, and he has to kind of tear himself free. And on one of them, he literally falls onto the crocodile. I mean, it's properly terrifying stuff. Anyway, he got away with just a few stitches, apparently. But anyway, he was paid $60,000. And they were so impressed they named the main villain after him. Right. The villain in the earlier draft was called Jakarta. Oh. And they changed it to Kananga. So yeah, brilliant stunt. Brilliant stunt.
Yes.
And they did require Roger Moore to stand on a little island on his own to get that shot of him surrounded by the crocodiles. So he was out there on his own for a bit.
Yeah. I bet that's not his legs when there's shots that I'm going to show right now. Because, all of this, I'm watching it kind of on the edge of my seat because I know they're not going to show someone getting mauled by a crocodile, but I'm just... it
does make you think, wow.
As I've mentioned in previous episodes, just got all this respect for stuntmen. And it is like, because I don't want... I'm kind of glad that we've had this period in filmmaking where people just said, we'll just do what we like.
Let's just chuck it in.
Hopefully everyone will be okay. Right? I kind of wish there was more of... I suppose you just go back and watch films that were made older films because...
And also, I guess they're always trying to outdo each other.
Yeah.
They're trying to go, well, if you jump to boat 10 metres, we'll jump at 20.
Yeah.
And then I suppose safety is almost a secondary concern to how much you can produce.
Obviously, I'm not saying... I wish people would continue to risk their lives for the sake of my entertainment. I'm glad that people don't, in a way, but I'm also glad that we've got the mad stuff from back in the day.
No, it is good. It is good. On the subject of this... The boat chase, the very long boat section on the Louisiana Bayou, which was kind of not made up, but for a long time in the script it just said boat chase and it hadn't actually been written what happens. So therefore it was all a bit sort of fluid during filming. Roger injured himself, as we mentioned. We had the 2 crashes at the wedding, as we mentioned. But there was also the jump as the boat jumps over the road over Sheriff J.W. Pepper and Adam in the amazing jacket. That they set up a ramp. And the jump that the guy did to clear that was 110 feet. That's 34 metres. And they unintentionally set a Guinness World Record. They didn't realise they'd done it. It was the longest anyone had ever jumped a boat before, which I really like that. The entire sequence took 24 days to film.
Oh, wow.
And as this sequence was filmed first, Roger Moore did 2 weeks of filming, just driving the boats and close-ups and wiggling the eyebrow and all that stuff, before he even said a word of dialogue as James Bond. He'd already been on the set for 2 weeks driving these boats around. There is also something I must bring to your attention. There is an advert that was made while they were filming this for milk. It was like a milk marketing board advert thing. James Bond drinks milk and da da da. And that you can see Roger Moore and Guy Hamilton and all the extras and everybody else who's involved in this scene all stood around on the Louisiana shoreline, all with these boats flying everywhere and people jumping into the water and all this kind of stuff. And they're all stood around with glasses of milk. Like this is all completely normal. This is totally what we do all the time. So if you can find a still from that, it's brilliant. I promise. I promised I've not made that up.
Pick up a pinter. Stay on top.
Right, some other stunts. The crash in New York with Charlie getting bopped in the side of the head and then the car going off in all directions. Easy, Charlie, let's get there in one piece. And all that kind of stuff. They had to close the FDR drive on the East River to do that.
Viewers, we can expect a lot more of...
Yeah. Over the next 7 episodes, there will be...
Roger Moore impression.
There will be a lot of bad Roger Moore impressions.
And he'll get his McCartney in when he can.
Yeah. Great. The bus chase, which I think works very well, where they genuinely did drive. That was a genuine bus.
How else are you
They genuinely took the roof off.
Yeah.
The guy just literally floored it and went toward the bridge and thought, maybe the roof will come off, maybe it won't.
Brilliant.
So anyway, that was all genuine. Good extras jumping into the sea action again as well here, like we saw in Dr. No, just sort of people jumping out the way of the bus into the sea. Always good to see. I've called it a stunt, but it's not a stunt really. The plane with Mrs. Bell.
Well, I got that.
It's a sort of comedy scene, really.
I suppose, but it must fall under stunt work in your shooting schedule when you're...
And they're driving the plane toward the doors that are closing and all
off,
that. Yeah.
Holy shit.
I mean, why, just out of interest, why does it not just fly away?
Yeah.
I mean, they're on foot, you're in a plane.
Yeah.
You know, I think I see a way out of this problem. Well, anyway, better to drive around and take the wings off, I suppose. Good comedy scene. We also have some good fight scenes.
Yeah.
I don't think Roger's that great at the fight scenes compared to Connery. Although he's better in the train scene at the end with Teehee, I think was pretty good.
That was okay. There's a bit where he's meant to be getting wasted by Kananga's men. Mr. Big's men, sorry.
Mr. Big's men, yeah.
And, he does a sort of move around a stairwell.
Fire steps, yeah. And I know you'll be pleased with this. We have sharks again. I know you'll be pleased with the sharks.
I think you've said everything I've written down, yeah.
Yeah.
That's all of them.
I knew you'd love to see a good shark.
Yeah.
Swimming around.
Again, a little bit scared, but there was a bit when they both have to jump in, and I think, is there a shot of human and shark in the same frame? I can't quite remember.
Yeah,
but
I think there might be just briefly.
Yeah, not quite as...
Not as extensive shark action as Thunderbolt.
Yeah, but still good.
Yeah, absolutely. What are you scoring for stunts?
I've actually got 9.
Have you?
And that is mainly for the speedboat.
crocodile.
The crocodile. Well, the crocodile raises it massively, and then the speedboat sequence. Yeah, I just thought it goes on, but there's a little bit of development in every bit that happens. It does.
Well, originally that speedboat scene was going to be even longer. They were going to have a formation troop like you see in those old movies.
Yeah.
You know, when they're like a big human pyramid thing, and they were going to crash into that and all that. But in the end, they cut it because Harry Saltzman felt that it was all going on too long. Okay. Which he may have had a point. It's quite a long sequence.
It is long, but I think it's not just like dialogueless speedboat chase. There's a good, there's
a point to it.
There's fun bit. J.W. Pepper shows up halfway through,
and again, the crocodile stunt is fantastic, classic stunt.
Yes,
one of the best stunts in the whole of Bond.
Yeah,
I have gone 8 for stunts because I love the crocodile stunts, but I've taken 1 off for Mrs. Bell in the plane because I think it's slapstick comedy, really.
Yes.
And you've gone 9.
9.
You're scoring higher than me again. Yeah. That's interesting. I scored higher than you last time.
Oh.
So our roles are being reversed this time. Vehicles.
Yeah.
What have you got for vehicles?
Lots of big American cars
that don't drive round corners very well.
Like Whisper's Pimpmobile.
Oh yeah.
Lots of those. There's a hang glider. He does a little cheeky kick in the head.
I do like the hang glider with the optional cigar as well. That's always a good look.
The longer cigar you can get, the better.
Yeah.
Double-decker bus.
The bus, genuine Routemaster bus, by the way. They just painted it green.
Cool. Yeah, and the small plane and with Mrs. Bell and the speedboat. So I suppose there's a lot of overlap here with the stunts, really, because there are a lot of vehicle-based stunts.
One point I would make about a vehicle that's missing: there is no Aston Martin for the whole of Roger's run as Bond. Oh. So we will not see an Aston Martin until we get to T-Dults. Yeah. So
I did know. Well, did I read? I think I said about. Sorry, it's all over the place with the format, but with Moore. Bond's on the phone to Q in Diamonds Are Forever.
Yeah.
And I mentioned the guys are in Q Branch installing a load of rockets onto a car.
Yeah.
I think that is the DB5 in the background.
Oh, right. Okay, I'll check.
On Twitter or someone. And I thought,
okay, I'll check. But, interesting little sideline piece. Okay, what are you scoring vehicles?
Even though it's all the overlap here, I'm going 8. I think they well as being great in the stunts, they look cool. There was a bit of variety. And,
yeah. Okay, I've gone 7 for vehicles. I like some of them. I like the bus stunt. I think that all works pretty well. Right, villain. Let's talk about the main villain.
Yeah.
Dr. Kananga himself. I think Yaphet Kotto does a brilliant job of looking genuinely mad.
Yeah.
I think he genuinely does look completely off his head.
And at the end, he's laughing a lot. So slower, whisper and all that with the gate. And
let our diners assemble.
Yeah. Doing a very... He hasn't got a mustache, but if he did, he'd be twirling it right there. Yeah. Yeah, and like I say, I'm a big fan of his anyway from later movies of his. So
The only thing I would say about Kananga, I think his death is a bit rubbish. I think the unconvincing plastic dummy that blows up
that
brilliant.
must have been the best they could have got. And he should have like forced him to swallow the thing because he could have just gone on.
Does he? Yeah. And also the bullet is like the size of that vodka bottle. You know, you wouldn't get it down easily. So I think his death is a bit rubbish, but I do think he's a good villain. And like I said, I love the fact that he does look really genuinely dangerous. And genuinely like he doesn't care at all who he kills. Or
concealing his identity as Mr. Big. Why does he do that? I don't.
Anyway, what are you scoring? No, I genuinely don't.
You think about it too much.
Yeah, well, Mr. Big was in the book. Kananga wasn't. And Mr. Big was the main villain in the book. So maybe they're calling back to that. But you're right. I guess it's when Rog says about as Kananga he grows the drugs, and as Mr. Big he distributes them. So I guess that's the link. But it's anyway. Yeah, I agree. Anyway, I have gone 8 for the villain because I do think he's good. You've gone 8 as well.
No, I've gone 7.
Oh, you've scored it.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Yes, you're right. Yeah, sorry. I am.
You're red.
I am red.
Yeah.
Yes, sorry.
Yeah, I know. He's cool. Love the actor. Yeah.
Henchman.
Well, there's quite a lot here, isn't there?
Yeah, some
really
famous ones as well.
Iconic ones, I'd say, with Tiki. Little question about Tiki.
Yep.
The very end. So, can we see the deleted scenes of how he got in the mail sack, please?
Difficult to do it up with one arm and the other one's a metal arm.
Do you think he got on the train and then pretended? Because I thought he'd mailed himself so he gets on the train.
I don't know. I've been in here a fortnight. No, I don't know, because I noticed there was another guy carrying the sacks on. So whether he was involved with Kananga, maybe, I don't know. I guess that was what it was, but I don't know. But you're right, it is a bit of a weird one. And obviously, having the villain with the metal arm, it is sort of been parodied a lot, hasn't it?
Yes.
As it is an iconic villain, as you say.
But it does the job, doesn't it? Demonstrates it well with the twisting the gun barrel
and the chicken, when he grabs the chicken and goes feeding time, he's got the hook in the meat. I think actually Julius Harris is really good in that scene walking around the crocodile farm.
Yeah, he's good. He's good. I mean, he's I like, I know his name's Tiki, but he just grins the whole way through it.
You can see it,
especially when he's separated the bridge and he's
Yeah, absolutely.
Now you know what's happening, Bond. Yeah, he's brilliant.
And he's pretty cool, I guess. Baron Samedi.
Yeah.
What are we making of him? I mean, he is really different to anything we've ever seen before.
Yeah, and I like his presence. I love the scene where he sat on the table.
He's got a brilliant voice, brilliant laugh.
Yeah. He's just a good, completely over the top, kind of cartoonish sort of figure, I suppose, a bit.
And presumably can't be killed because he's shot.
Yeah.
And then you still see him at the end, because the whole idea of the voodoo thing is that he's already dead, so you can't kill him.
Yeah.
So quite an interesting character. Couple of shout outs for some other henchmen. Adam, who is the guy that chases Bond on the bayou.
But he's a big guy that he didn't get a cool name, like Whisper and Tiki, and
needs something a bit cooler.
Adam.
Beautiful jacket though.
Yeah.
What a jacket. What a jacket.
Thread swatch. Yeah.
Flare, the collar you could land a jumbo jet on. Size of brilliant. I also have to give a shout out here to the New York taxi driver with the massive sideburns, who I love. I think he's just a brilliant character.
Say, Jim,
what's happening, baby? All that stuff. I just think the BondBoard's falling apart.
I knew a bit fell off, and I haven't noticed.
We can't continue.
We bits have come off when we've been filming.
Yeah, that's all right. It's like Theresa May's speech. We're just going to carry on as things fall down around us. Anyway, I love the New York taxi driver with the massive sideburns who pops up again in New Orleans.
Yeah.
Any more? I think that's pretty much
that's
it.
I've only written those. Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
But
pretty good.
Scored really high.
8.
9.
Ooh, 8 and a 9. You're definitely enjoying this movie more than I am.
Loads. And full disclosure, I grew up in the 80s with a telly. I haven't watched these movies like properly and paid attention to them, but Roger Moore. The next two, I'll say, I'm a bit familiar with, but not.
Okay, the next two movies. Okay.
Hugely, but all the ones from then on, like Spy Love Me, even I don't know.
Yeah. Okay, fine.
But these ones I kind of got, a lot of memories.
So this is a bit of a trip down memory lane for you.
Memories.
Yeah.
These,
Okay. Nice.
Oh, I would like to just mention that Felix is back.
Felix is back.
Were you going to tell?
I was. I missed it on my notes. Sorry.
So he's actually changed form finally into someone that sort of suits the role.
Vaguely.
And is quite competent.
Well, David Hedison.
Felix. It was quite a disappointment.
He was a good Felix, yeah. David Hedison is quite fondly remembered by Bond fans. He's definitely a big improvement on a couple of Felixes that we've seen, and the last one in particular. David Hedison, by the way, not the only time we will see him. Keep your eyes peeled. We will see him in a later movie.
Right.
I wouldn't say he's the coolest Felix, but he does look like he could at least compete with Bond. He gives back as good as he gets. And there is chemistry between David Hedison and Roger Moore, because again, they knew each other, they were old friends, and you can see that on screen. I think it comes across.
Yeah, and there's actually I put it in gags, I think.
It's nice to see a semi-competent Felix back.
Yeah, when he's on the phone after the flying lesson. There's no need for name calling and that kind of. I really enjoy it.
Yeah, he's pretty cool. Location. Right, as I was saying, New York in 1973, some great shots of the city. Really good to see that. New Orleans, they deliberately chose not to film during Mardi Gras.
Right, okay.
And they did that because they thought it was too similar to the John Canoe scene that they did in Thunderbird.
Yeah, that's fair
Which is a good point, actually, isn't it? And actually, although you don't see a lot of New Orleans, it is quite an effective pair of scenes with the killings, and it's unmistakably New Orleans. So that I think works pretty well. Obviously, San Monique is a made-up place, so they had to go and find somewhere to do it. They looked at Haiti, but it was not safe to film there, so they ended up in Jamaica again. But I think it's a very different to Jamaica to what we've seen before.
Yeah, definitely.
So I think it works as San Monique. The other thing I want to call out in terms of locations, this is more around set design and things like that, is what an introduction to Bond in that amazing 70s kitchen.
Oh, yeah.
What a kitchen. How much do you want to get one of those from Magnet or someone?
Fantastic, yeah.
Please design me that.
Yeah. It's great little scene that I will talk about. Well, I've seen gags and gadgets is sort of overlapping again. But lovely scene.
Anything I've missed in locations?
No.
No, you haven't in locations? What are we scoring?
Covered it well. 8.
Ooh, 8. I've gone 7. I thought it was good, but not.
Yeah, I was maybe nearly a bit torn there, but I went a bit. Maybe I was just feeling in a good mood.
I like a bit of variation in my locations, as you know.
God.
Right, what's next?
Story.
Please tell us, Tom, because this is one of the highlights of each show. Do you have one of your amazing summaries?
I have one of my summaries.
Okay, fine. Well, we'll take that.
So this is the story. Let me just have a little drink.
Cheers. Here we go.
Okay. So, ready?
Go.
After we see agents being picked off in New York, New Orleans, and San Monique, a made-up place, Bond gets interrupted from a successful time by M, who tells him about the murders and sends him to New York to investigate the operations of dictator Dr. Kananga. His driver is killed before Bond's been in the country for 5 minutes. Luckily, Bond escapes death. Bond tracks down the shooter in Harlem, leading him to Mr. Big, a gangster-stroke restaurateur who hangs about with a tarot card reader and a bloke with a very strong mechanical hand. Mr. Big orders Bond to be killed, but his henchmen are no match for Bond's superior fighting skills. Bond escapes with CIA agent Strutter's help and goes to San Monique, meeting CIA agent Rosie Carver.
Yeah.
They get on a boat with Quarrel Jr.
Yeah, nice.
And then Rosie, after having the piss taken out of her throughout the boat trip, is shot to death by a scarecrow. Bond uses Solitaire's wacky belief system against her to trick her into sleeping with him, but she's all sort of okay with it, so it's fine. And then they go to New Orleans. After some messing about on an airfield, Bond is captured by Mr. Big, who is actually Kananga, who unveils his plan to distribute tons of heroin for free, thus bankrupting rival dealers and jacking up the price while he's the only distributor.
Okay.
Good plan.
Good plan. Yeah.
As she's had it away with Bond, Solitaire can't read tarot cards anymore.
Oops.
Being of no use and out of anger, Kananga hands her over to Baron Samedi for a sacrificing. Meanwhile, Bond is left to be killed by crocodiles, but jumps over them to escape, lures one of them into the baddie's base, and then birds it down and jets off in a speedboat. There's a big old speedboat chase which confuses and aggravates one of the upstanding law enforcement officers of the Louisiana State Police. Bond fends off all the baddies and then goes to Samedi to blow everything up and rescue Solitaire. But they both get captured by Kananga and are nearly killed by sharks, but Bond uses gadgets that kill Kananga, which I'll talk about in a minute. And then there's one last quick fight on a train with Tiki and Bond kills him.
Hurrah! Very good, very good. I'm increasingly impressed by your synopses of these movies.
What did I miss?
I don't know. I've heard songs shorter than that. Honestly, brilliant. Love it. Very, very good.
I thought this one.
You did sort of brush over the bus with the roof on bit, but that's all right. No, everything else I thought was excellent, and I like the way you said she was killed by scarecrows. Like it was the most normal, totally everyday occurrence, normal thing that happens. Bond drops a massive clanger going to Harlem. He really does, because Strutter even says you're the only white face in Harlem. You know, you're a target.
Yeah.
Which really is a weird thing for Bond to do. And it was unusual as they were trying to establish Roger Moore in the role. This is early in the first film, and he drops this absolute rookie error.
Yeah.
So surely people are going to think, well, is this guy not very competent? You know, what's the problem here?
Well, he probably got that advice from old Felix from Goldfinger.
Yeah.
And don't forget your suit if you're going to the beach.
Or the one from Diamonds Are Forever. Yeah, we lost her, James. Sorry. The other question I have is, who tips Bond off on the Queen of Cups? It's not clear. You know when the Queen of Cups is in his breakfast? It's a Queen of Cups in an upturned position to show a deceitful woman. Yeah. Who sends him that? I don't think that's ever made clear.
I don't know.
No.
Editors know if I find out.
Yeah, if we can find out there's an editor's note appear on the screen now. Editor's note, not sure.
Yeah.
The other thing to say is when Bond is at the airfield about to be chucked on a plane with a concrete block tied to his ankles, why does Solitaire make to slap Bond? Is she acting at that point?
I think
she's trying to distract the others.
I missed something. I think she's trying to get back in with him for safe to not get killed. But he's angry anyway because she can't do tarot cards anymore because she's had sex.
Because Bond's
deflowered
her. Is that the correct phrase? I suppose it is, yeah. Well, there we are. So, taking your beautiful summary into mind, what are we making of the story?
6.
6?
Yeah. I don't know. I thought it's kind of like the movie's made so well that it kind of, if you're not paying too much attention to the story, then the movie's just fantastic. If you're actually looking at what's going on in this story, it's a little bit weird.
It's a little bit weird.
Better than, I went really low for Diamonds Are Forever, not 4.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm being a bit harsh.
Better than that? No. I've only gone 7, so I don't think it's outstanding. Okay. I mean, I think it's a little convoluted. There are bits where you go, we're doing drugs as well now. Oh, okay, fine,
A hell of a lot of fun.
Hell of a lot of fun, as they always are. That leads us up to
last 3.
Your favourite part of all this. It's the last 3 categories, which are
gadgets, gags, and girls.
I tried to do the Sonic Pulse
brain freezer thing.
That was the
Lovely. If people all over the world are now just watching this,
killed the audience.
Sorry. Yeah, no performer wants his audience dead. Come on. Well, thank you for redoing the gadgets, gags, and girls sound. Very nice. Gadgets. Yeah. What have you got? Have you got a list? You've normally got a list.
Yeah, I've got loads.
Okay, go ahead.
They were trying to get rid of them. No, that's gags. Right. Sonic Pulse, Brain Knackerer.
Sonic Pulse, yeah.
I think we've talked about that enough. So Bond's coffee maker, I put under gadgets.
Well, I suppose it was in 1973.
Yeah, I mean, he's basically got what they've got in like coffee shops.
Yeah, in Starbucks or whatever. Yeah.
So pretty cool for 73.
Yeah.
You know, you don't need all that stuff these days. Is that all it does? I like when it says that. Yeah. Magno watch.
Yes.
Good looking gadget.
Yeah.
Don't know if that would work that way in real life. Wouldn't he just get loads of cutlery flying at him at the end? Shoots loads of metallic stuff when he gets that bullet. And
When he picks up the bullet, he just aims it at the bullet.
He's got precision aim that he forgot to tell us.
Hey, he has a deadly aim. What can I tell you? Even with his watch, he's like, this will be no problem. So he's got the magnet in the watch, but he's also got a little saw.
Yeah,
because he cuts through the ropes, doesn't he?
Yeah, double good work from Q there.
Excellent work from Q Branch.
And so Whisper's wing mirror dart gun.
Yes, very good.
Very, very good little murder weapon.
Charlie.
I put the revolving wall and the trapdoor table.
Yes, I suppose they are. I think they're gadgets.
Fitted gadgets.
Yeah. What would you do for a builder when he comes around to give you a quote? Yeah, I can drop that in the floor for you, mate. It'll go down nice and smooth.
You make this revolving. No real underhand reason to do this.
No, you don't need to concern yourself why.
Yeah,
I can do that, mate. Just keep it topped up with WD-40. That'll turn around all right.
Helped with the. Was it not Ken Adam this time? It doesn't look.
No, it wasn't
Ken
Adam.
It doesn't look like his.
No. I'm very impressed.
Trademark style, you see. But I did like the sets with the walls and the trap doors.
Yeah, absolutely. Always good.
Teehee's claw arm itself.
Yes.
Very strong. Bit easy to just go.
Crush the thread the gun and
Once
stuff.
you work out, you can just snip some wires off it. And not so great. Shoe brush bug detector.
Yes, now I've called that hairbrush transmitter and bug detector.
Yeah. He's tapping on it.
Is like Morse code or something?
It's like, this is spy stuff.
Yeah. You don't have to know what it is. It's just technical spy stuff.
But then where Rosie comes in, he takes the thing out of the bed head.
The little thing,
Bedpost. And covers up
headboard.
Christ.
You're welcome.
And then does he put
I think he puts a grape over it, doesn't he?
Oh, grape, little gummy thing. Yeah.
I've got another one, the scarecrows. Would you call the scarecrows a gadget? Guns. I suppose they would, yeah.
I've also got, cigar plus aftershave equals flamethrower, which, not saying I tried that when I was a kid, not with a cigar, but...
No. If you put it on a little matchbox car, put loads of hairspray on it, set it on light, and then put it into a little bit of weed that you've also doused in.
Yeah.
But apparently, so I'm told. Anyway, carry on.
Flute intercom system.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I like that one.
Heading for the hill.
Yeah. I mean, I had to kind of just suspend disbelief a little bit as a musician there. Isn't that going to knacker on the sound of his flute?
The reed.
Yeah. Yeah, and then the gas compression gun bullet and all that.
Oh, of course, the thing that kills Kananga. Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
His gun, and it's the gun's sort of gadget, and because it's all
gun is a gadget as well because it looks weird, doesn't it? It doesn't look like a. And also, he has a bit of fun shooting it into the old sofa, so that Whisper can
be
fly over. Yeah, all good. That's pretty much my list as well. Quite an impressive list of gadgets, considering they.
They didn't want to do any bloody gadgets.
Move away from gadgets. Yeah, there's a lot of gadgets. What have you said for gadgets?
I've said 8.
I've said 7 for gadgets.
Okay.
Some nice gadgets. Yeah. So the second G of the 3 Gs, gags. Right, time for some gags. Let's tell some jokes. Go on. Yeah. Now I've got a list of one-liners here.
Go for it.
That are really long. Okay, I've got sheer magnetism, darling.
Check.
I've got Felix illuminating.
Yeah, genuine Felix lighter.
I'm sure we'll be able to lick you into shape.
Yeah.
I once had a nasty turn in a booth. Quite revealing.
Yeah.
There's no sense in going off half-cocked. On whose side from Sheriff J.W. Pepper.
Yeah.
I think it's quite a good line.
Yeah. Yes.
He must have got tied up somewhere.
Cut to
Bond being literally tied up somewhere. And he always did have an inflated opinion of himself.
Yeah.
So that's a solid 9 maybe.
Yeah.
I've probably missed a few. They're all over
I
the place.
think all the one-liners. Yeah, I think you've mentioned all the ones I wrote down. So I've also gone with sort of comedic bits. I felt the opening scene after the song with Bond and M and Moneypenny when he's trying to conceal the missing agents.
Yes.
And that's
Miss
that was,
Caruso.
yeah.
And
Funny stuff.
I
good
like
stuff.
the way that Moore and Bernard Lee play that scene.
Yeah.
Because it's obviously a callback to the films in which Connery was basically really pissing him off with knowing everything, isn't it? So you can see Moore saying by pulling out this button, so it's a magnet and all that. There's callbacks to that, isn't there? They both play that pretty well. I don't know if he hates Moore as Bond quite as much yet. But I think he will at times. So I think that's quite good. The other thing is we mentioned the flying lesson with Mrs. Bell again.
Yeah,
of course. Plays that for laughs, doesn't it?
Yeah, that's a funny little bit, and I like the we mentioned the lovers cards, the trick. I found it particularly amusing that he had to show that they're all lovers for the benefit of the audience,
just in case anyone thinks I'm not shithousing quite enough.
And there's 2 instances like that where if you're being an idiot like me who wants to go, if this wasn't a movie, isn't she just going to get up and go, oh, you bastard.
Hold on, there's 20 cards there. Yeah.
And similarly, when he's killed Teehee or chucked him out of the train at the end, he should just say, look, that's Teehee. Look
what just happened while you...
But just like, oh, shut up, let's make love, and
actually, there's another one, just being disarming, darling. That's another line I
just
probably
being disarming. Yeah.
Thrown in.
And she's like, what do you mean? Well, I can't tell you now because I've just lobbed the arm out of the bloody window. But
I can't prove it.
I just had a fight with Teehee, okay? I know it's a lot less cool ending to a movie if he does that. Okay, but.
So, gags, what are you saying?
Just check it. Oh, there's... Oh,
sorry.
Sorry, my favourite funny bit in this... Oh, God, I've got to go back to it. Was the after JW's had his car smashed in by the boat and everyone's ran away. Adams ran away. Everyone's got away. He's left to his own devices. And then this call comes through on the radio. Mrs. Pearson just called. Seems her dog's all foaming at the mouth. She got it all locked up and wondered if you'd come over and shoot it for her. It's just the most depressing thing.
This is normal day-to-day stuff,
And I think there's a couple of bits where he kind of swears and it gets the honk of a horn beeps out swearing, which I enjoy.
You tell Miss Pearson take a flyer.
So that was like the bit I laughed at.
It is a very gag-heavy movie. Again, Tom Mankiewicz's writing, which we added the humour to Diamonds Are Forever. What are we saying here for what we score in that one?
I'm going to 8.
I have also gone 8. I think it's a very gag-heavy movie. And Roger's very good at the gags, isn't he? The one-liners in particular, because obviously he's an established actor, better than, say, Lazenby would have been. Which brings us to Girls. Now, I fear we may have some low scores there, because Solitaire obviously looks absolutely beautiful, and
she looks
sort of...
fantastic, but that's not what we're doing here.
It's not what we're about.
Don't be afraid, folks.
I mean, she is a bit useless.
That's it.
She sort of needs rescuing all the time, and she doesn't sort of like whack anyone over the head, or she's a bit useless. Then we come to Rosie, who is completely useless.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, I felt sorry for the actress in a way, especially like I said, she just gets taken a piss out of her on the boat. It's just all this
a lousy agent.
Just all that stuff just to her face. Just talking about how crap she is. And then she just gets killed.
And it's a pity because Gloria Henry was the first African American Bond girl. So she the first one certainly to be romantically involved with 007. So that could have been quite a moment, couldn't it? A big thing. But she's such a sort of hammy character.
And he's, she betrays him and all that. Well,
but she sort of even gets the betrayal wrong. Do you know what I mean? She's just pretty inept. And I just don't think she's a comic character, but I don't think she quite works for me really.
No, agreed.
And it's a shame that there isn't a well-developed female lead in this movie. It is a gap in the film. It's something that it's missing compared to some of the sort of kick-ass girls that we've seen,
Bell?
Diana Regg and so on. Yeah, Mrs. Bell. Mrs. Bell is a good character actually. I like the way she's. I mean, at the end, there's even that bit where he's just had the fight with Teehee that you just mentioned. As she sort of comes down in the bed, and she says that wasn't very clever. She doesn't seem to realise there's literally just been a fight to the death happening in this tiny compartment in which she is too. And even again, Bond sort of patronises her a bit. He doesn't, like you say, he doesn't explain. He just sort of pats her on the arm as if to say, "All right, love, yeah." Do you know what I mean?
Well, she might not have been able to hear. She might have been all her ears were stuffed up with pillows.
Maybe the cards were in her ears or something.
Could have told her.
I just don't think they're very well developed characters, and it's a shame. It's a gap in the movie.
Yeah. I agree.
Anything I've missed? I don't think so.
I don't want to be too negative.
Well,
but
we are, unfortunately.
Yeah.
So what you said?
5.
Ooh, I've gone 4. Low scores all round.
Okay then, mate. We've got to do some maths.
We've got to do some maths. It's time to get out your calculators, and we'll do a bit of maths, and we'll be back.
In a few seconds.
In the time it takes the board to revolve. We will be back in just a few moments with our scores. Welcome back. We have the scores as a nation is pregnant with expectation to find out where this fits on our BondBoard. Just a reminder, leading the way at the moment, Goldfinger with 191, Thunderball 186, From Russia With Love 184. So that's the top 3 of the 7 we've done before this episode. Right. I've inputted your data. Ooh. And we have James I have scored 86. Tom has scored 93 out of a possible 120, which means a grand total for Live and Let Die of 179, which means it goes fourth, unless I'm mistaken. Above On Her Majesty's Secret Service with 170. So Live and Let Die goes fourth of the 8 we've done so far.
Yeah.
That's quite high, I think.
Good.
Although I did say earlier on that it comes fairly solidly mid-table. So 4th out of 8 is indeed solidly mid-table. So, I'm a genius. What can I say?
A solid start for Rog.
Yeah. Wait till we get to the later movies. The eyebrows are in overdrive. The maximum noises, the sort of, all that sort of stuff is all, dialed up to 20. So there we are. What movie are we doing next, Great Bait, in the next episode?
I think we're doing The Man with the Golden Gun, aren't we?
We are indeed doing The Man with the Golden Gun. That will be episode 9. Please keep your feedback coming into us.
Thanks so much for your feedback.
We would love to have some more stuff to read out during the next feedback corner. So you can follow us on Twitter at ReviewKillShow. And you can message us there, obviously, on Twitter. I will see that. And you can subscribe to our YouTube channel, which is
Luxury Tedium.
And send us a message on there or a little comment under the video, under here, under this thing you're watching now. Please do send us a message on there, and we will give you a shout out on the next episode. Brill. All done?
Yeah.
Well, that about whaps that up then, doesn't it? Right. Pub. Thank you very much, Tom. See you next time.
The name's X-Time.
X-Time.
See you next time.
Yeah, but good, I like that. I can see that catching on. I can't really.